Okay, so I just wanted to share something with you guys that's important to me. I'm really spiritual and I'm all about divine intervention. And everybody knows that this year is the year of the dragon. And specifically, this month of June is all about abundance and about change and just really manifesting. And I've really been doing a lot of my rituals, my cleansing, and things like that, just to get myself prepared, especially because the new moon is coming up and we're coming up on the 668 on a Thursday, no less, which is a manifestation day. So I've really been trying to get myself prepared, like I said, cleansing, doing my saging, cinnamon rituals, salt rituals, just to get myself prepared and able to really receive the goodness and blessings and manifestations that are about to come all of our way, if we really are truly willing to receive that. So, with that being said, just wanted to tell you all just a quick story. My husband, he's a manager at a major corporate chain, and he's been having problems with his manager, with being really catty, really petty. Every time she has personal issues or at home or has issues with anyone else, she likes to take it out on people's paychecks, cutting hours and things like that. So my husband, if you knew him, he doesn't play those games. He's definitely a fighter and he stands up for his rights. So in this particular case, though, because she's so petty, and apparently she's really good friends with the like really top manager or whatever. That's what she has been telling everybody. He really didn't want to say anything to her manager because he didn't want any type of repercussions or anything, right? So he's been going round and round and round about it. And he was like, I don't want to snitch or anything. I'm just going to try to work it out. I'm like, do what you have to do. So we ended up going on a camping trip just to kind of reset. And on the trip, he said, Babe, I'm going to just give it up to God. I'm going to put everything in his hands. I'm not going to worry. Excuse me, I'm going to make sure that, when I go back to work, that I just keep on working, stay to the grind, and everything will be okay. And I was like, okay, whatever. So that was on a weekend. So that Monday, that evening, probably around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, got a phone call. And it was the manager's manager. And she was like, Did you call me? And my husband was like, No, I didn't call you. And she was like, Well, somebody called, and one of my agents picked up the phone and said a man stated that he was from your particular location and he was a manager there and he needed to have me call him back immediately. And then he just hung up. And so my husband was like, No, I didn't call. And if I would have called, I would have left my name and, told him to, have you call me back directly. So, excuse me. So, anyway, so they were like, what's going on? So who called? Because my husband is the only man, as far as in a managerial position, that's in that particular location. And that particular day when the phone call happened, there wasn't any other men in the area of the store or that location. It was just females during that time. So they were like, who called the store? Like, who did that? Like chills went up and down me. It wasn't a spooky feeling or anything like that. It was like, did God call on the main line? Did he call the store directly or have one of his angels call? on my husband's behalf because my husband wasn't going to call. He was going to keep his mouth shut. So God just decided to fast track it and make sure that it was done. So the conversation that they had lasted for about 3 hours. And come to find out, his manager and the manager's manager aren't friends at all. They were just colleagues at a different location, and that was it. So they're not good friends at all. So my husband ended up telling her what was going on because she was like, what's happening? What's going on? Tell me what's real. Are you happy? Blah, 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 blah. So my husband decided to go ahead and just spill everything about what was going on, the cattiness, the pettiness, and everything. And the very next day, when he went back to work, his manager was sweet as pie and gave him all of his hours, made sure that his pay was correct the way it should have been, and no issues whatsoever. And everything worked out. And we're still trying to figure out who called the store, who made that phone call on my husband's behalf saying that they were calling from my husband's store location, didn't say a name, just said, I'm the manager here at this particular store location, and I need such and such to call me back immediately. So the manager just assumed that it was my husband because, again, he's the only male manager at that particular location. And she ended up calling him directly and everything got resolved. So, divine intervention? You tell me.